my future self came to see me today. She told me that in order to have the life I saw her in, that fulfilled, peaceful, abundant life, I have to continue being a compassionate human who truly cares about people, who accesses empathy easily, and works in a timely way. Make every moment count. Make it last forever.
Thank you so much, Karlee, for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you. And I just want to give a big thanks to having me on today. I appreciate your time and I look forward to our conversation.
And I appreciate your time so much. We were just discussing that briefly before we got on the call, how mindful we are, I think, as moms of people's time, because we know that there's so much going on. And like Kobe Bryant had said at some point in his life, people don't realize how much time is so precious. They just don't get it until it's too late. So when you find people who get it, it's really a nice thing. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's dive right into it. How did you arrive at becoming a mompreneur?
That is a great question. So I became a mom to my first in 2014, and I was navigating the path to try to get back to work after maternity leave. And so through that journey, I learned a lot, and I was very much just anxious and wanting to do best by my daughter and really get back into my career. I had been working for a tech publisher for a number of years at that point and helping manage their conferences. And so by 2017, when I had my second daughter, I realized that I had the ability to ask a lot more questions in the workplace and to see if I could help other moms through that process. So through my journey of becoming a mom myself, my passion project, which is called the Traveling Milk Truck, was born in essence. So the Traveling Milk Truck consultation services helps breastfeeding moms who are returning to work after maternity leave by providing them with advice and actionable steps to make their transition a little bit easier. And then by 2019, I realized I could help a lot more moms. And so far, I've helped about 120 women through consulting, providing information, and help getting policies actively changed in the workplace. So that's kind of how becoming a mom essentially is what really got me started.
Yeah, that's amazing. And for me, who is a breastfeeding mom right now, just hearing help with, anything that has to do with baby or kids, it's just, it is very relevant to me right now, particularly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more about that passion work, the company, and how do you tie in any mindfulness as well with that?
Yeah. So one of the biggest hurdles I found was the transition into motherhood. I think becoming a mom is scary at times, and making sure you're, taking care of yourself and your babies, and to provide them with the nutrition and give them all of the tools they need to grow into healthy little human beings. And there's oftentimes so much stress placed on moms, especially, I knew that I wanted to go back to work. My husband and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so, going back to work wasn't really an option, but I also knew that I wanted to work. And so not only was I going through process of healing and learning about my relationship with my daughter, But it turned into a learning experience for myself, in the sense that I was stressed out and worried all the time, and I knew that wasn't sustainable for me. And so through that journey, I really had to try to find ways to ground myself through the process of being a career working mom. And so I started giving myself mantras throughout the day. One that really stuck with me through work and balancing everything at home was one day at a time. One day at a time. I really needed to focus on being present within the space that I was in, even though at times I found myself very uncomfortable in the process of that journey.
Yeah, amazing. I feel like it's a recurring theme where we want to be able to be present in everything we're doing. And with the conversations I've been having these days anyways, it's very much a recurring theme where if you're not present, it just gets worse. You start feeling, when you're present, you feel even the discomfort, as you said, you feel the discomfort, you deal with it, and then you move on, right?
Yes. And I think from that perspective, being a mom and being in a position to help other moms through that journey, I think has just been really valuable, because when it came down to breastfeeding, for instance, and traveling across, I was traveling across the United States and finding ways to ship my milk back for my daughter. And I often was just so concerned that I was impeding other people, or I was going to run out of time for business meetings. And so I just had to be very aware of the space that I was in at every time. And when I began looking for other resources and moms that had maybe gone through similar journeys, I realized that there weren't that many available. And so I wanted to be a resource in that same space for moms that were trying to figure it out and trying to take it one day at a time, and trying to, continue to be mompreneurs and traveling moms. So that's kind of where I ended up in that journey.
Yeah, I feel like I have to thank you for all the moms out there, because as you say, when there's resources that are so limited, you feel so lost. So on behalf of all of the moms, I am thanking you for thinking of this. It's awesome. It's just great.
Yeah, well, I do think it has been a number of years since my both of my daughters were born, and I have to say in the last couple of years, I think one of the biggest things for moms in this space, or a mom returning back to work, is to just be open and share the journey that they're going through. And so within the last number of years, I think there has been enough conversation that things are starting to change a little bit. And so, for instance, you can find more lactation spaces in airports as you're traveling, which is such a great thing for moms. But if it's the awareness and understanding moms, lifting up other moms in that process, I think is how we're helping each other through that journey of motherhood, and through that journey of traveling, and through that journey of being able to breastfeed. And so just lifting each other up and talking and having those conversations, I think, are just so valuable and important for other moms to have.
Yeah, you nailed it. And again, I'm going to thank you for thinking of it, because just like you say, for us to be able to lift each other up and stuff, who knows, maybe somebody who used your services was able to then talk about it. And then, so maybe in some small way or huge way, you were also a catalyst to, the airports having a few more, or, it's people like you who take that extra step that are going to make the things change, change laws and change, like.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really important. And like you say, I'm going to say it again, women empowering women, it's just so essential. I think that it's very much needed. So conversations like this, like we're having, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of them, is my prayer to the universe. But yeah, again, I can't thank you enough. Tell us what emergence means to you in relation to your life, and could you give us any insights at all on how to emerge out of blank, like you whatever you choose, or adversity?
That's a great
or
question.
Mm-hmm.
So emergence, I think emergence for myself is the persistence and the belief that you can do whatever you set your sights on, and push past those roadblocks. Be okay with being uncomfortable and failure, but also having the realization and the mindset and the grit and determination to be able to grow with that. So through that growth, you understand that the failure isn't just a failure, it's a redirection that you are coming on top of. And through that emergence, it's not like I've found very much in my journey of motherhood, for instance, that it's not an end destination. I'm going to be a mother the rest of my life, and being there for my girls and being a guide for them when they need. I think emergence is very much in that way, where you go along with the journey. You're continually emerging into whatever space you set your sights on.
Yeah, it's just very beautifully said. Thank you very much for that. And this might make you a little uncomfortable because people like you don't like to promote themselves, but any websites, anywhere we can follow you for people hearing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if anybody's interested to learn a little bit more, I have a website that's called thetravelingmilktruck.com. I'm on socials, Mama Milk Truck on Instagram, and I also have a monthly newsletter that comes out called Work at Mama Monthly. So if anybody's interested and would love to learn a little bit more, I've also been working on, I'm in the final stages of a book manuscript. Nice. So I have been interviewing moms and what their journey's been like, going nice. To work and breastfeeding. So yeah,
perfect.
Thank you.
I will have that in this description, so people who weren't able to jot it down, or you can pause to take down all the information, but it's going to be in the description. Thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
As always, I thank you for tuning in. These episodes are meant to be of massive value to you, and so I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, all I ask in return is for you to give it a thumbs up, give it some love in the reviews, share with 1 or 2 friends whom you know will benefit from hearing this content. Check out the links in the description. Continue to lead with empathy, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Many blessings.